Welcome to the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom podcast with Jacob Ayers, providing actionable content to help you along your journey to financial freedom through real estate investing. As the premier asset class, real estate has helped ordinary people just like you amass fortunes. The benefits of passive income from real estate investing will allow you to live a life you want. And now your host, entrepreneur, real estate investor, and apartment deal syndicator, Jacob Ayers.
Hi, and welcome to the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom podcast, episode 142. You are listening to Friday Fundamentals. Hi, I'm your host, Jacob Ayers. Thanks so much for tuning in to this week's episode. This is part 3 of our 4-part series with our guest, Jay Connor, helping deliver the Friday Fundamentals. And this week, we are talking about exit strategies. So this is a topic that's not really talked about all that often because the focus is on buying real estate, financing real estate, managing real estate. And then only once have you done all of these things, you're left with, well, now what? And that's what we're going to be discussing in today's show, is how to sell your home if that's what you're going to do. So without further ado, let's jump into this week's Friday Fundamentals. Well, Jay, thanks so much for coming back for part 3 of our 4-part series. Welcome back onto the show.
Hey, Jacob. Thank you so much for having me back. I'm so excited about being here with you on this 4-part series that we've been doing. And man, I've been having a blast with you, man. As I told you in the first 2 episodes, when I grow up, I want to have a voice like yours. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, I appreciate the compliment. I don't know that the listeners can agree with you out there, but yeah, I really thank you for that. Well, Jay, today we're going to be diving into exit strategies and how to sell your property. Now, this is something that not many people think so far down the line. You know, you've got a lot of moving parts to get into real estate, how to find a deal, how to raise capital, how to buy it, how to manage it. And then finally, once you've got this deal under contract and bought and tenanted, maybe, then you start thinking about your exit strategies. So you've got some really unique ways to sell properties, and that's what we're going to dive in today. So tell us a little bit about what you've got.
Yeah, sure. So, what I discovered over the years, I've been, buying and selling houses, investing in single family homes now for 15 years. And what I discovered along the way is the more ways I can find deals, locate deals, the more deals I do. The more ways that I can have in my toolbox to sell houses, the quicker that I can sell them. So I don't want to be just at the mercy of selling a home in the multiple listing service. Okay. However, part of my strategy is, since the market is so hot right now, I will list a home in the multiple listing service, and I will also, and I have an agreement with my realtor, I will also do simultaneous marketing using this strategy that we're going to talk about. And that is how to sell any home in 72 hours or less. It's the 72-hour selling system, how to sell any home in 3 days or less. And it's 5 simple steps to success using this strategy.
Well, what exactly are those 5 steps, Jay? Let's unpack those and, talk about them real quick.
Sure. Well, first of all, to understand where we're going with this strategy, when we're selling or listing a home in the multiple listing service, obviously, the buyer has got to be approved for a mortgage or has got to, be able to get a mortgage. When you are selling your house in the multiple listing service, there's typically going to be negotiation on price. There's going to be the home inspector that, chips away at additional costs. They're looking to find everything. Of course, that's understandable. But in this system, on the 72-hour selling system, this is also offering your home or your house on rent to own or on lease purchase to a buyer. And so in this way of selling, there's no negotiation on price. The price is set. And, it's hard to believe, but still today, approximately 80% of buyers cannot go to the local bank or a mortgage company and get a mortgage. And so using this strategy, this system, I set the price at 10% above what the home would appraise for today. And the reason I do that is because that gives time for appreciation, okay? And if the home hasn't appreciated to the price that we have it set for by the time that the buyer's ready for a mortgage, I can always come down on price if the appraisal doesn't come in. But you know, Jacob, they never let me go up after the price is set,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So I do simultaneous marketing, put it in the multiple listing service, and offer it on lease purchase. So as I said, there's 5 steps. Well, the first step, Jacob, is we got to build the buyer's list. So we got to build the potential buyers that would be interested in rent to own. So this strategy that's the first step. And how do we build the buyer's list? Well, I use Facebook a lot. I use Facebook ads in our local market. I've only got 2 criteria for Facebook ads, and that's 35 years old and older and the zip code. But first, I'll name these 5 steps. And if you like, Jacob, I'll just give a quick little 30,000 foot view of what each step is about.
Yeah, okay.
All right. So number 1, build the buyer's list. Number 2, stage the house. Get it ready for what's coming up. And number 3 step is promote the event. You say, what event is that? Well, that's step number 4. And that is the open house frenzy. Okay. And step number 5 is close multiple deals using this strategy. So what this is all about is we're leading up to this open house that's going to take place on a Saturday. Now, of course, for this strategy to work, you got to have a house for sale, right? You got to have a home for sale, all right? But the reason I teach this is for 2 reasons. Number 1, when the house comes ready to sell, boom, you can sell it very, very quickly. But secondly, start building your buyer's list now. Because here's the question: do you have to have a house or home for sale to start building your buyer's list? Absolutely not, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to have this open house frenzy. Okay. So just imagine, and I put this system together, Jacob, just 3.5 years ago. And the reason I put it together is 3.5 years ago, the market was still a little sluggish and it wasn't as hot as it is now. And I said, man, how am I going to move these homes? And so I had 4 homes that I wanted to move quickly. And so I had my buyers list. So this is all leading up to this 1-hour open house. Can you imagine having 40 people walking around in a 1,500 square foot home, all going, oh my, like, it just imagine the sense of urgency that it builds, So back to step 1, build the buyer's list. I use Facebook ads. I use Craigslist. I actually still advertise in the newspaper, not because our buyers are looking in the newspaper, but because all of those classified ads are online, right? I use direct mail, etc. And, in my little target market of only 40,000 people, we still get now over 300 potential buyers a month in my little 40,000 area that is interested in a rent to own or lease purchase program. Okay. So we build the buyer's list. Step number 2 is we're going to stage the house. Okay. So now staging the house, what does that mean? Well, we stage the home primarily kitchens and baths. That's what sells houses, right?
Yes.
And we actually, at the event, we actually have real chocolate chip cookies being cooked in the house.
I've heard of this strategy before, actually.
Yep. And so we'll lightly stage it. So stage the house and get it ready. That's step number 2. Now, step number 3, you've already got the house staged. You got the date set. Step number 3 is we're going to promote the event. Now, here's how we're going to promote the event. Step number 1, nobody on your buyer's list is going to know about this event until Thursday before that Saturday. Okay. So on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, there's 3 text blasts that go out. Here's a service I use. www.callfire.com. CALLFIRE.com. That's my voice blasting and my text blasting service. So the first text goes out at noon on Thursday promoting the event. The next one goes out Friday noon, and then the last one goes out Saturday morning at 8 a.m. All leading up, and this text blast actually tells them, where the house is located. I give away cash. All right, so we got the cash giveaway, at the event. So we got 3 text blasts. I got 2 emails that go out. So I got an email that goes out Thursday noon and an email that goes out Friday noon promoting the event. I got 1 voice blast, so 1 voice message that goes out to the entire list. And I also have signage that goes out on Thursday in front of the house. So we put little 18 by 24 inch signs, bandit signs, with the balloons on them. We put the balloons there on Friday, okay? And so the sign will say open house, such and such time, and it'll be from, like 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. So you don't want this open house to be more than 1 hour. That's really important. And, of course, on the sign we got giving away cash, all right? Giving away cash. So that's step 3, promoting the event. Now, let me catch my breath, Jacob. Step 4 and 5, I'm doing the 30,000-foot view, but
sure.
Any comments or clarifications I need to make on step 1, 2, and 3 so far?
Well, just a comment. I think I really like what you're doing here with promoting the event. You're creating a sense of urgency, right? So you put it out last minute. You've got a very limited window for the open house. And you create this sense of urgency for people to show up and see this very limited, special product you've got. So I really like that part of it so far.
Exactly. Yeah, it's really going to create excitement. So now step 4 is the event. Now we got the open house.
The cookies.
The cookies. That's right. So, so let me share some experiences to really what makes this work. All right. Okay. First of all, let's go back to step 3 for a second. When you send out a text using CallFire, when you text somebody, what are they likely to do?
Ignore it.
Text you back.
Text you back. Okay.
Right. Or they could ignore it. Right. But of course, in that text, you're going to tell them who you are and what's going on here. So they're either going to ignore it or they're going to text you back. So you need either yourself or someone on your team monitoring your callfire.com account to see what kind of texts are coming back. So in those texts, when they say, can I see it early? I'm out of town on Saturday. Can I go see the house? What's the answer?
Sorry,
no. It's only open for that 1 hour. Well, perhaps you should send someone to represent you. Okay. When they ask in the text, well, how much down payment? That's a great buying signal, right? So when they're asking the down payment, now they're really interested. Or when they ask how much per month, they're really interested. Now, do you tell them how much down? Do you tell them how much month prior to the open house?
No.
All the information is going to be given right there. Come win some cash, right? And so you want to drive everyone that you can right there to the event. Now, we're at the event. So you want to be there early, prior to the time that you announced. Now, let me tell you something. These people show up like yard sale people, okay? Like you advertise your yard sale at 8 a.m. and they're there at 6:30 a.m. wanting to see your stuff before everybody else gets there. So are you going to let them in the house early? No. They're going to be lined up the door just like a furniture store going out of business, right? So we got them lined up the door, and then at the exact time, we open the door and we let them in. Now, very important, right there at near the front door where they're coming in, you've got your assistant or your significant other or whoever's on your team. Everybody's got to register, right? They got to register their name, their contact information in order to get a ticket for the cash. Right?
Okay.
Because the cash drawing is going to be at the bottom of the hour. That's a very, very important thing because the first part of the half hour, people are milling around and et cetera in the house. And we got 30, 35, 40 of these people, milling around. And I'm milling around with the people, talking about the home, what we've done to the home, if we've renovated it or whatever. And so at the bottom of the hour, I do my little talk, and I talk about the home. Well, they've all come for the rent-to-own program, right? So I explain, well, how does the rent-to-own program work? That's what they want to know. So I explain, how does the rent-to-own program work, And so then we draw for the cash, right? And I tell people, here's the call to action. Here's the call to action at the event. If you are remotely interested in owning this home on the rent-to-own program, you need to go see Kim at the kitchen table, but she is now doing free pre-qualifications. Okay? Doing the applications. So we'll get a bunch of applications. On the application, we'll find out what's the most that they can put down. And then we get our person, our loan officer, or I'm trying to speak for your viewers, if you've got a relationship with a loan officer, or if you've got someone that can actually pull credit. Here's what's really interesting, Jacob, and that is some of the people will qualify for a mortgage now.
Yeah.
And they didn't think they could. So when we've done these events, we'll have people that actually qualify for the mortgage, itself. So that's step 4. Step 5 is the first time I did this 3.5 years ago, I had 4 homes on the tour. Not only did I sell all 4 homes, I sold a 5th home that wasn't even on the tour. Here's what happens. Imagine you got all these cars parked up and down the street in front of this house. And people are walking by, driving by, going, what in the world is going on, right? And so we had a lady come into one of our homes on the tour, and it was the 4th one. And so she said, well, do you have any others? This is a little bit out of my price range. I said, well, I got a 5th home that's not even on the tour, and it's not even been cleaned yet. So this system creates just a lot of excitement. The benefits of using this system is it cuts your carrying cost, just like that. And if you're wanting to move towards cash out, it's important to have a relationship with a good credit repair company. And so that's important, because if you don't have the credit repair company in that relationship, in all likelihood, they're not going to cash out. So that's an important ingredient, of this system.
Yeah, sure. Well, so much great stuff there, Jane. A lot to take in and really analyze. But one thing I want to dig into, and I know this is always your philosophy, you always want to create a win-win relationship for both yourself and the buyer. So yourself being, in this instance, the seller. So let's talk about the benefit to the buyer, and what are some benefits why they would do this rent-to-own or lease option kind of option to purchase this property.
Exactly. So you can use this exit strategy on if it's a home that you have not rehabbed. Actually, there's 3 different types of homes you can use this strategy on. One is if the home does need some TLC, that's called selling it on work for equity. Okay. Same strategy, same promotions, same event. Okay. Just different type of home. So you're looking for someone that would be interested in, working on a handyman special kind of thing. Or it can be a pretty house that doesn't need any repairs whatsoever. Or it can be a home that you have rehabbed and you go, oh my lands, Jay, why in the world would you sell someone a home on rent to own and you've rehabbed the house? Here's why. 2 reasons. Number 1 is they are going to have some strong skin in the game. So they will put down a significant non-refundable lease option deposit, or the legal term is actually called a option fee. Okay. So they are vested, right? And we tell them at the closing table at the real estate attorney's office, for all practical purposes, this home is your home. We just haven't transferred the title or the deed yet. Okay. And of course, back to your question, why would someone want to buy a home like this? Well, if someone's in the 80% of people that can't go get a mortgage, here is a way people can own a home that they ordinarily could not. Okay. Most people can't own a home, but here we come with a solution as to how they can be on the road to home ownership. Okay. As a good friend of mine just says, They're homeowners in training is what they are. Okay. Okay. And we're helping them and holding them by the hand with the credit repair company to get them ready for the mortgage. So that's the bottom line answer. The buyer wants to take advantage of this program because there's no other way for them to own a home.
In today's environment, Jay, with higher and raising interest rates and, just all kinds of barriers to entry for, buying a home, this is a good way for maybe that first time home buyer to be able to own a home. There's a lot of people out there that are stuck in that renting pool that want to own the home, but just can't qualify for that mortgage. And this is a product that allows them to become maybe that first time home buyer. So yeah, I really love what you're doing there.
Absolutely. And you're right. Most of the people that purchase a home under this program are first-time home buyers. And you know what that triggers in my mind, Jacob? And that's this. Still today, I've been doing this for 15 years now. Still today, my target market on the homes that I invest in to sell are what we call entry-level price points or bread and butter houses. And here's the answer. Why is that? Because that's where the largest pool of buyers are. And that's first-time home buyers.
Yeah, I love it. Well, Jay, so much stuff here. Now, obviously, we can't unpack this 5-step system and dive deep into each one of these points in just a short podcast, but that's what your upcoming live event is for. I'm going to be out there October 10th, 11th, 12th, Atlantic Beach, North Carolina. Looking forward to that. For all the audience members out there that I haven't got a chance to meet with, talk, connect with, I'd love to meet you out there. I'm going to be out there personally talking with Jay, socializing, networking, learning, and I'm just really looking forward to it. If you'd like to meet me out there, you can pick up tickets at www.jacobayers.com/event. I'd love to see you out there. Jay, give us a little bit of a high level. I know you've mentioned the past couple of weeks what we can be expecting, but just give us a little teaser on what it's going to be and, fill us out there.
Sure. So I don't know another event like this. So it's a 3-day event. And on the first day, half a day, we're going to dive deep into private money, how to get funding for your deals, regardless of your credit, your income, your experience in real estate investing. And so not talking about hard money, but private money that we're not relying on banks. So at the event, I guarantee everybody will know exactly where to get the money for their deals, so they won't ever miss out on a deal because they didn't have the money. On the afternoon of the first day, we're going to go on the bus tour. And so this bus tour, we're not going to look at houses in the multiple listing service. We're going to look at actually my company's houses that are either under renovation or we haven't started, or they're finished and just been staged and now ready for the market. On that bus tour, I'm going to teach how we found the houses before other real estate investors knew they existed, and the numbers, what we bought it for, what kind of funding we used, the repairs. So I'm going to teach how to estimate repairs quickly, what we're selling it for, and what the profits are. On the bus tour, people will also meet members of the team, contractors that we do business with, the interior designer, etc. So people can go back and duplicate the business model. Day 2, I'm teaching the first 3 pillars of the business, and that is how to locate deals quickly, how to find motivated sellers, how to get all of your houses funded using different creative ways. And then thirdly, we're going to dive really deep on what we just talked about, and that is the 72-hour selling system, really getting into details. The evening or the afternoon of the second day, Jacob, we actually have private lenders at the event for your attendees, to network with. Got an awesome VIP reception on the evening of the second day. And the third day is all about automation. How do we do this business without having to replace our job with another job? Or if you want to keep your day job, do this on the side. And so how to automate the business. I'll be bringing in more of my team members, my realtor and how I do business with them, the real estate attorney, my virtual assistant, my acquisitionist. So people at the event can really see how this real estate investing thing works from start to finish.
Yeah, I love it, Jay. 3 days of action-packed content there. I'm really looking forward to it. Now, everyone attending is going to come away with so much more knowledge and learning these systems and how you run your business out there to come back and implement in their own market or implement in the market in which they invest in. So it's going to be a ton of value there. I'm looking forward to it. So Jay, well, hey, thanks so much for helping out on this week's Friday Fundamental. Next week is the fourth and final installment of this little mini series we've got going where we're going to dig into automation. So really looking forward to that. Jay, until next week, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Hey, thank you so much, Jacob. Look forward to it. And one more thing I'm really excited about, Jacob, is you and I are going to be presenting on stage. I'm going to be interviewing you. Your listeners and attendees viewers are really going to get to know you even better. And so I'm excited about you being at the event. Thank you so much, Jacob.
Hey, thanks so much, Jay. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. That wraps up this week's episode of Friday Fundamentals with our guest, Jay Connor. Now, Jay's got tons of unique strategies around selling your home on lease options, seller financing, and other creative ways like that. But of course, we couldn't get into everything in just this short podcast. So that is what Jay's upcoming live event is for. I'm going to be there October 10th, 11th, and 12th, and I would love to meet you there in person. If you haven't yet, go over and pick up tickets at www.jacobayers.com/event. And when you do, let me know so we can plan on meeting up, maybe go to dinner one evening or something of that nature. Well, hey, I really hope you're getting value from this podcast. If you like what you've heard, please go over and leave a rating and review on whichever platform you're listening on: iTunes, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, SoundCloud, Stitcher, whatever it is. Let me know what you think of the show. Well, until next week, engineer the lifestyle you want.
You've been listening to the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom podcast, providing you actionable content to build your real estate empire. Nothing on this show should be considered specific, personal, or professional advice. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for personal advice. The opinions of guests are their own. Information is not guaranteed. All investment strategies have a potential for profit or loss. The host is operating on behalf of the Real Estate Way to Wealth